Great. So I think Ashwini, would you like, or Mathilde, would like to start maybe? Yeah, maybe
Oh,
Ashwini then. Is that okay, Ashwini? Do you mind?
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, is that okay? I thought
Yeah.
that was somebody else who
Yeah,
was
no, Mathilde's
feedbacking.
got no
So
noise in
this is our
hers.
digital fashion space that I think about 5 or 6 of us built together. We have a couple of different scenes. And so we really wanted to have like a discussion about digital fashion, a kind of in-depth discussion with external speakers, kind of like a panel discussion. What you look at, like this whole background, it looks, I guess, quite complicated if you don't know what it is, but it's actually quite simple because it's just made using Photoshop and then imported into Frame VR. So it's really quite simple to make. And so we made 7 different scenes, and we had different prompts and different topics for each scene, different speakers. And yeah, we ran an event, and it was really just a bunch of us who were interested in digital fashion who just said, oh, we should have an event. And then whoever was interested jumped on board. And we took a month or two to just plan things out. And a couple of us made a couple of different scenes together and things. And it was a fantastic event. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like, I think, it kind of happened naturally out of like an interest group that kind of grew, because there was a couple of us interested in fashion. And as we went on, we included more people. And that's the great thing as well with DMC, is like some of us were working on this, the group grew, but we also could have a number of other people that could just come in every now and again and give exterior advice. People who are more interested in performance or fine art, who could give us feedback as we went. And we were really lucky to manage to get so many amazing speakers onto our panel to talk to us. And that kind of happened, quite organically as well. I feel like this event in some ways is quite representative of the way that the Digital Maker Collective has started to work in, like in this new virtual space where things happen quite organically, but with also quite a lot of investment from everybody, and with people joining on projects with different skill sets as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and I
interesting.
think.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say, like, it's also interesting that after we had this event, because we had external speakers as well telling us more about digital fashion, I think that's when we became more interested in things like blockchain and NFTs. So that also led us to kind of think about our next project that we're going to work on within digital fashion. That's when we imported those garments that we just saw within our other frame.
Yeah, and we're just trying to kind of push the kind of the Zoom call and like push it a bit further, So it was a very successful event because the people who came, most of them had never done it, and even though they were native 3D artists or 3D clothes design, fashion design, digital fashion designers, they were all kind of on board, and it was really, yeah, it was quite amazing.
Yeah, totally. Like it was really successful, and you could see different people coming in. Some people did the sphere, some people prepared text, some people, Risebox did the live stream, and there was a bunch of skill sharing, about like building the photospheres. We had Scarlett on board, who's really good at 3D design and building. Like virtual spaces, and Kristina as well, who is like super experienced in building those like virtual kind of experiences. So I feel like as we were building the project, like beyond what we learned from the speakers, we actually learned a lot by doing the project, like kind of building this space.
Exactly, and I think that so with Frame VR, you're provided with so it's free, and you essentially, when you get an account, you can select pre-made environments. But what I liked about this, this was done in an empty environment, so it had totally nothing in it, and which means you can construct your own space, basically world build. But what I liked about this was the simplicity, because it is well, it's a 360 photo, basically. And can we flip through the scenes to show everyone the different scenes basically? So yes, so it works really well as an environment for a backdrop for the event, because each scene changed, and it kind of set the theme for that conversation. But in terms of simplicity, it is just a 360 photo, and we're kind of in an empty space. And then I think the only additional thing was these objects on the floor. Is that right? These are just to basically give the space a little bit of sort of solid flooring, really. But
actually,
amazing.
Sorry. Yeah, no, this actually was something that was advised by performance people, because it's something that they, that they use in theatre, where they were like, oh, to kind of like ground where the stage is so that people don't get lost. So I don't know, it's just an example of like, that crossbreeding.
Yeah, because you can't really locate yourself if you are in a 360 sphere. You don't. It's infinite, so you don't think you're moving whilst you're moving, because the sphere kind of moves around you. So you need some kind of point of reference, and so that's why we put this in, bit abstract thing.
And that's kind of led us on to explore world building generally across different immersive platforms. So at the moment we're exploring world building in another platform called AltSpace. So I think that idea of constructing environments, immersive environments, is very interesting.
Absolutely. I mean, as an immersive environment, I think this is really interesting because I was saying to you guys the other day, actually, but I mean, if we consider it as a real world venue, these kinds of venues are really rare. I mean, a full dome kind of projected venue, 360 degrees. There's not many of them in the world. There's a really famous one in Montreal, Quebec, that is used all the time. And so as a venue for performance, I think this is really interesting, or as a venue for presentation, just to be able to present your ideas and lay out your ideas in this kind of spherical format and 3D format together. I think it's really interesting, has a lot of potential.
And accessible, which is good.
Yeah, and then that really becomes apparent when you enter this space in VR, and this is where it becomes it can blow you away, because you do feel like you're in a physical venue then.
Yeah.
And you're in the most amazing physical venue, like you say, and relatively cheap,
Yeah.
Being able to achieve that is quite amazing.
Great, thank you.